I got royalty inside my DNA. I got peace, got war and peace inside my DNA. I got poison, pain, and joy inside my DNA. 死んだ天性 I was born like this is wild. Immaculate conception, I just perform like this without you one new weapon. I know
Hey guys, if you haven't already, give the video a like, subscribe to my channel. This is a what if series and I'll be doing more down the road. Plus Ultra. Hey guys, and welcome to What If Luffy Ate the Goro no Mi. Now, this story is something I've been looking for a while. That's a mouthful, but I've been looking for this story for a while and couldn't really find much of anything. I mean, I did find one fanfic, but it kind of stopped. It didn't lead necessarily into the new world. It didn't necessarily tell me how would Luffy have like the encounters Luffy would have with this power. Anyway, it just wasn't told in the way that I wanted to be told. But nonetheless, it did give me an idea to do my own version of the what if. Anyway, without any further ado, I'm not going to waste you guys' time any longer. Let's just get into this amazing story, and I can't wait to show you guys what I cooked up for you. Anyway, so we're going to start off with Luffy in Ferocia Village, at Makino's bar, where Shanks and his crew is at. Now, Shanks has been there for, let's say, a month or two, because he just arrived, and he wanted to spend, almost a year in there, since it said in canon that he almost spent a year in Ferocia Village, So all the events would really play out just as normal as they did in canon. I don't feel like anything would change up until the point to where Shanks and his crew got attacked by the bandits. Well, necessarily didn't attack. They trashed the bar and pulled liquor all over Shanks. And Luffy would yell at them, saying, "Why didn't you guys fight back? You just let them pick on you and pour the drinks all over you like that. That's not cool." And Shanks said, "Luffy, you don't have to solve everything. We don't solve everything with our fists. They weren't hostile. The only thing they just poured on us was liquor. I mean, it can be washed off." So Luffy pouts about this, and he just turns around and just looks at this box, at this fruit. And Luffy just starts eating heavily, just swallowing hard too. And when Luffy was eating this fruit, one of the crewmen said, "Luffy, you shouldn't eat out of anger. You should slow down before you choke." But then again, they notice exactly what Luffy's eating, and then their eyes wide open, their eyes are just shot wide open, and they're scared. They right now are preparing themselves because Luffy just ate the Goro no Mi. Now Shanks rushes Luffy and he coats his hands in hockey because that's a Logia type devil fruit. He doesn't know if Luffy is made of lightning as of yet. So yes, as soon as Luffy ate the fruit, his powers activated. He just didn't know how to control his powers. But yes, Luffy was made of lightning. And as soon as Shanks touched him, he grabbed Luffy because he coated his hands in hockey. Now, all this, Shanks will go to explain the same way he did with the gum fruit, telling Luffy that it takes away his ability to swim. And the devil fruit that Luffy had eaten was the Goro no Mi. Basically, you become a lightning man, Luffy. And Luffy, he's excited, but at the same time, he's excited that he can't swim. So Shanks also tells him that your life is going to be in constant danger on the sea. But Luffy really doesn't care. He really doesn't care. So Shanks decides to stay extra long in the East Blue, not to leave Luffy unprepared. So he starts teaching Luffy about the New World, about the Grand Line. He starts teaching Luffy about the Marines. He starts teaching him about the 7 Warlords. So yes, Luffy is going to know a pretty hefty amount. And he also is not going to let Luffy be unknowing of hockey. Now, on the day where the bandits come, let's just say that Luffy did get captured on the boat because he was on his way to go train with Shanks, and one of the bandits came and kidnapped Luffy and tried to take him on the boat, and Shanks is wondering where Luffy's at. And this was on the day that they were getting ready to leave, I think. Now, this is where Luffy is crying. He doesn't know what this man is going to do to him. The man is telling Luffy to shut up, stop crying, you brat. And all of a sudden, Luffy is getting so highly aggravated that this electricity starts to radiate over his body. But Luffy then opens his eyes, and this burst of energy just comes out, shooting from his body, knocking the bandit out cold. Luffy doesn't even know what he just did. Now, Luffy turns around to see this giant-ass fish monster coming at him, and Luffy panics real quick and just sticks his hand out, like covering his, so his left arm is covering his eyes, and his right arm he just thrust out, and this huge lightning, well, not huge, but this lightning blast would shoot straight through the sea monster, killing it instantly. Now, Luffy is just on the boat, and he's all just cradled up. He's just laying down, just waiting. And this is where Shanks would come out there and rescue Luffy and say, Luffy, you have conqueror's haki. Are you okay? And Luffy rest assured that Luffy was alright, and they went back. So this is where Shanks would even start training Luffy extra hard, teaching him about the 3 forms of haki, such as conqueror's haki, something that you have to be born with to rule over all, armament haki, observation haki. But most likely Shanks would focus on observation haki, seeming as if his double fruit is basically strong in that area. Luffy could become so powerful with his observation haki, noting that he has electrical waves that can just he's made of lightning, so electrical waves and brain patterns, like your brain has electrical signals that goes through the brain, and Luffy being sending out, he can expand his observation haki by sending out electrical energy just to sense the area around him, sort of like how Anaru was doing with his devil fruit, but he didn't yeah, you get it. So Shanks would actually spend way more time on this island than Luffy would have thought, but not too much time. Only a year and some change, a year and 5 months. By the time Luffy has got done training with Shanks, he even trained with Ace and Sabo for a few times. Shanks would depart from the island, and Luffy would say, can I join your crew? I'm strong enough, I have the power to join your crew. And Shanks would still tell Luffy no, but Luffy would swear up and down that he would become a better pirate, a stronger pirate than Shanks. And Shanks agrees to that challenge and gives Luffy his straw hat and says, when you become a great pirate, give it back to me. And this will start the journey of Straw Hat Luffy. And now we begin with the way the story began, let off. Luffy is in a barrel, and he's just floating around in this barrel until this pink-haired boy named Kobe caught him, and he busts out saying, I am free. And this is where Luffy basically runs into Kobe, and he looks at him and says, who are you? But most likely, Luffy's attitude is going to be mostly goofy, and it's also going to be mostly serious. So he's going to be half and half. Now, this is where I'm going to skim through some things. I'm going to skim through some fights. And I know you want to see how these fights would evolve or how these fights would go down. But to me, I particularly don't see any kind of battle going on from these fights like he did, or how the struggle was in canon. So Luffy would journey to pick up his first mate, Zoro the Pirate Hunter. Now, Luffy would see Zoro strung up to a post, and Kobe is telling Luffy that we need to get out of here. And Luffy's telling Kobe that, no, we don't. We don't need to go anywhere. We're fine right here. And I really doubt that any one of these Marines can even touch me, so Luffy looks at Zoro and says, hey, can you join my crew? And Zoro says, no, I've already sealed my fate. You're that pirate hunter Zoro. You use 3 swords, don't you? If I get your swords back, will you join my crew? And Zoro says, how would you even do that? And Luffy starts to walk off and say, yeah, you'll see. So Luffy then just blinks away, he zips away, turns his body just straight into lightning and just shoots into the building. And then jumps out of the window, grabs Zoro's, with Zoro's swords in hand. Now this is where Luffy lands right back in front of Zoro and say, see, that was fast. Now, join my crew. Oh, if you don't, I'm keeping these. This is where Luffy would just blackmail Zoro into joining his crew, and Zoro would join. And now Luffy has his first mate. Now, sensing how the battle would go between Accent Morgan and his son, that would really play out very like hurt and painful for them. Like, because as soon as Luffy seen them, Luffy tells them, okay, now we're leaving. Here, you can have this for a surprise. So the team would just be looking at him, and Luffy would just have this light electricity just roll, like flowing over his hands. And Luffy would then create about 3 tigers and 1 gorilla. And Luffy would look at them and say, now you have to fight a gorilla made out of lightning and 2 tigers made out of lightning. You're the Marines, so that shouldn't be too hard for you guys. Anyway, Luffy and Zoro would start to walk away as the both of them are fighting, and they're fighting hard as they can with that. Luffy looks at Accent Morgan, who's basically, when he hit through the gorilla grabbed the blade and sent electricity through the blade, frying Accent Morgan and sending him to the ground with foam coming out of his mouth. Now, this is where Luffy would say, they're really having a very hard time fighting these guys, aren't they? Oh well, Luffy snaps his fingers, and each of his attacks, the 3 tigers and the gorilla, explode with electricity, knocking the Marines out cold. Now, this is where Luffy would look at them, and he would say, no, let's go. So Zoro and Luffy would leave. Zoro and Luffy would leave Kobe behind because Kobe wanted to become a Marine, and the former Marines were arrested for some reason for doing something that was out of the Marines code, I guess. Anyway, so now they make their way to, correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but they make their way to Orange Town, the town that what Buggy the pirate was. And I guess he was terrorizing that town or something like that. Now, this is where he would run into a woman named Nami after he dealt with some pirates, basically knocking them out cold. He didn't even have to use his devil fruit powers. It was just his skills and his brawling nature. Luffy would knock all of them out cold, and Nami would run up to him saying, hey, you're incredibly strong. Would you want to team up? Luffy would look her up and down and say, no, I don't team up with thieves. And this is where Nami would say, wait, how do you know I was a thief? Well, it's kind of obvious. You use your looks and charms to basically friend someone, but the moment that you find out that they have a lot of treasure, you take it and you take everything they have. Basically, if they have a ship full of treasure, you're taking that whole ship with you. You sneak your way into a person's trust, and then you display that you disrespect that trust with stealing. Anyway, so no. And Luffy and Zoro would just walk away from her. So but she would continue and say, well, a temporary alliance. Me and you. Alliance. And Luffy would say, still no. Well, you're gonna need help if you didn't blah, blah, blah. I'm stuttering all over the place. Well, you're gonna do, what can you do to help me? Luffy cuts Nami off. What can you do to help me? I mean, do you have any skills? Because I would love to see if someone can join my crew. I mean, I am looking for a navigator. And Nami would say, I'm the best navigator at the sea. And Luffy would say, why didn't you just say so? This is going to be interesting. Join my pirate crew. And Nami would instantly say no, saying, you two are pirates? And Luffy would say, well, yeah, we are pirates. And Nami would have an angry scowl on her face, and she would say, never mind. I don't want to join anybody. I don't want to have anything to do with pirates. And then she just runs away. Now, Luffy would raise an eyebrow and say, I'm going to get that girl to become my navigator. I already know about her and her village. Zoro would be like, what do you mean? That girl right there is, Nami. I mean, I really didn't say much of it because I want to see just the person she was. But Shanks told me that once upon a time, this person named Arlong had put a village in, lockdown. Basically, he's judge, jury, and executioner. If a person doesn't follow his rules, he execute them, kill them on the spot, no remorse. Right now, he's at her hometown, and I bet he's blackmailing her into doing something to free her village. Doesn't take rocket science to know that much. Luffy would look at Zoro and say, well, we need to continue on why we're here. And it's actually to get her to join our crew. So, everything that played out in canon with Luffy versus Buggy, Luffy versus the Tiger, and the whole the city getting destroyed and stuff like that, no. that wouldn't happen. Luffy would beat the shit out of Buggy. I'm talking about like he would send lightning at Buggy, and Buggy would be knocked out cold, along with the rest of his crew. Now, I'm not going to just say he just one-shot. Well, he does one-shot them, but he does it in a very cool fashion. Luffy just lets some of his like goofiness comes out, and he starts to stick his hand, well, all 5 of his fingers towards the sky. And he shoots lightning at the sky, and he says, rain down confetti. So all this lightning, like confetti, would be raining down, and it would be raining down on like Buggy and his crew. And they would be trying to attack or move out of the way or trying to sense what they are fighting, but nonetheless, still the same thing. It's just they all got fried. So no Buggy Ball, no destroying the store. Luffy kicked Buggy and his crew, basically sent Buggy and his crew out of Orange Town. Now, correct me in the comments if it was called something else. I think it was called Orange Town. But anyway, so that whole arc would be basically Nami seeing just how strong Luffy is. And then she would say, wait, you're called Raiden. And Luffy would say, that's new to me. I haven't heard of that name before. Raiden. That does sound fitting. The god of lightning. And Luffy would say, well, that I haven't heard of that name before. My name is Luffy. That's what I call myself, and that's what Anyway, you get the picture. So Luffy would be kind of thinking about this whole name and people calling him Raiden, and he would say, how did you hear about that name? Well, it's all over the paper. You have a bounty on your head for $10 million. Well, 10 million berries. Dollars, I said dollars. So 10 million berries, and Luffy would say, I got a bounty already, so the government sees that I'm dangerous. It probably is the reason because I took out Axe Hand Morgan. Now, Zoro would be right behind him with a 5 million berry bounty, and the rest thing would continue. Now they would go to the Usopp village, and same things would play out there. Same thing would play out there, but not to an extent like, okay, so everything would get to the point to where Luffy and the Black Cat Pirates are getting ready to fight off against each other. Now, Luffy is basically this fight between him and Goro is so one-sided to he can't do anything against him. His knives broken by Luffy's fist. And Goro was like, what? How did you do that? And Luffy just punches him in the stomach with so much force and sending 10 million volts through the man's body, sending him on the ground, possibly dead. Now, his crew is looking at, like, the Black Cat Pirates are looking at Luffy and they start to cheer him on, but Luffy just looks at them with an angry scowl and say, you don't have the right to cheer me on. Aren't you all not criminals, but aren't you all a part of his crew? That is so disrespectful. You're a disgrace to a pirate crew. And Luffy just throws his arm down and shocks each and every one of them, knocking them out cold. Now, this is where Luffy ties up the rest of the Black Cat Pirates along with Goro, puts them on his ship, and basically lightning, sends a push away. Like, I don't know how to explain this, but Luffy sent out a lightning, like some kind of lightning field to push the ship out into sea, just to get them away from the village. Now, Usopp's friend, I forgot her name, she makes the Going Merry for the crew. Now, Usopp joins the crew, and they all venture to the Baratiers. And sorry if you was expecting that arc to go a little bit soon, but I'm just telling you right now. Luffy is finna breeze through the East Blue. He's not finna face no real challenge unless Crocodile. I'm not gonna get that far, but just know that I'm gonna try to make it as much interesting as I can. But yeah, anyway, so as the team journeys to the Baratier, every events play out just as normal. Nami ends up taking the ship, stealing the ship and everything, and Zoro and Usopp goes after Nami. Luffy stays back to help the Baratier, which he does a very good job at helping them. Very easy as hell. Like, his whole battle against Don Krieg wouldn't have went that hard. I mean, Luffy has armament hockey, so he really didn't need to use his devil fruit, but he still did just to show an intimidating factor. And Luffy would go to state that these people have fed you and you return that kindness with bloodshed. Luffy would rush at Don Krieg and coat his hand in the soul, like, lightning. And this lightning would change colors to a darkish, bluish, purplish color. And he would ram his arm straight through Don Krieg's chest and say, die. And then his body would explode with electricity going everywhere. Now, the rest of the Don Krieg pirates would be like, it's Raiden. We didn't even know he was here. This guy, they were about to run. And most of them technically did. They ran away. They stayed away. Now, that whole battle, I did mess up something. The battle with Zoro and Hawkeye, Mihawk. Yeah, well, Dreku, Mika, I guess. Well, Mihawk. The battle between Zoro and Mihawk would pretty much go the same way, with Zoro declaring to Luffy that he would never lose. Now, we're starting the Arlong Park Arc. Now, this is where I'm going to leave off for now. So, I want you guys to let me know what you thought of this What If. Sorry it took so long to come out. I just wanted to see, where would I'm just gauging interest right now. I'm just gauging interest. So, if you guys like this What If, make sure you hit the like button and I'll release part 2 soon. Part 2... we'll be going through a few arcs, but basically I'm just going to be skimming through arcs that I see no real challenge to Luffy, such as Buggy, such as Goro, and maybe even Arlong. Arlong, it's not going to be a challenge. Now, one thing I can say before I leave off the video is that on their journey, Luffy, Sanji, and Zoro's 2 friends, they would all get tagged by the sea monster just like they did in canon, but it wouldn't be much, but they would make their way to Nami's island. And this is where Luffy would already have the information that he needs. And this is where Luffy would tell the team, he would gain back up with his team and everything, and this is where Luffy would say to all of them that Zoro is not dead. If Nami did that, she did it as a ploy to save him. And Usopp is wondering, what do you mean? If she faked trying to stab Zoro, she did that as a ploy to save him. Now, this is where we commence the attack. I want to learn from these people in this village before I actually go to attack Arlong Pirates. Well, the Arlong Park, if you want to say. So, Luffy would be looking at the Arlong Park, and this is where you get that to be continued sign. Anyway, without any further ado, you guys have a good day, a good night, and plus ultra. Good night, guys.